On the very outer limits of the London sprawl is Uxbridge and South Ruislip, constituency of one Boris Johnson. He was parachuted into this supposedly safe seat in 2015. But at the last election, things went decidedly off script when his majority was halved. If he loses, it will be the first time in more than a century that an incumbent Prime Minister has been unseated. So, could it happen?
I think he's doing all right. I voted for him last year, last election, and then I'll probably do it again this year.
I don't think much, but I know what my daughter thinks.
And what does she think?
That he's a silly man.
How old's your daughter?
6.
I do believe he's the right person for the job. I just think he's got an impossible situation. He's never going to please everyone. He's got to do the best that he possibly can, and if the people want to leave, then that's what he's got to try and do.
I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big fan. But let's see what happens, you know. I think he's trying his best to get Brexit done. Whether it should be done is a different question.
And do you think it should be done?
I'm a Remainer.
We're just here in Uxbridge today, Boris Johnson's constituency.
Don't you ever mention that name in front of me, that filthy piece of toe rag.
This once safe Conservative seat is changing rapidly with an influx of students and young families. The white British share of the population has fallen 16% in the last decade to 51%, one of the fastest increases in ethnic diversity in the country. This all helps the Labour candidate Ali Milani. At the last election of 40 constituencies with 40% ethnic minority vote, 39 were won by Labour.
Not only can we win this seat, but we have to win this seat. And part of the reason is because I think people in this constituency and people all around the country are looking for a very, very different kind of politics. They're tired of this born to rule, Etonian sort of Boris Johnsons who kind of feel like that they belong in the palaces of Westminster.
And how much support and resources are you getting then?
We've had extraordinary support. I mean, we are campaigning almost every day. We've had people from Brighton, from Glasgow, from Nottingham come down.
And is it Momentum? Is it the Labour Party? Who's helping?
It's everyone. I mean, the extraordinary thing about having Boris Johnson as your opponent is it has a unique way of unifying people. We have people who are not members of the Labour Party, who are local residents who come out and help us deliver leaflets and knock on doors. So I think in terms of resources, there is no denying the fact that just like the Conservative Party nationally, we will be outspent here, but what they can't capture, what they won't never be able to match us on, is the energy and passion of people here, and the people who have just had enough.
But your background hasn't been unblemished, either has it?
Sure.
You've certainly got into some trouble for things that you've written on social media in the past. I'm talking about around 2012. On Twitter you wrote, "No you won't mate, it will cost you £1, #Jew." You said that Israel had no right to exist. You said the land was built on ethnic cleansing and colonialism. Oppression is something your people should know about.
Yeah, so look,
people are going to have some real concerns about these things.
Absolutely, and I have tried to do my best in this campaign and on every public platform to be completely honest and open about this kind of thing. I have unreservedly apologised, and I do so again. What I want to see the Labour Party do is not only eradicate anti-Semitism from our party, but from society as a whole. And so we absolutely could be doing more. You know, it breaks my heart and I tell you this because I'm someone who has faced more racism than most people can imagine. I've had death threats through my letterbox.
In this campaign?
In this campaign.
But the Boris Johnson stardust may be a little harder to shift. Analysis by Ian Warren of Election Data predicts the Lib Dems will take votes from both Conservatives and Labour at the election, but Boris Johnson will hold on. Other pollsters agree.
I think it very unlikely that Boris Johnson would lose Uxbridge. One thing that matters a lot, actually, in a lot of these close contest seats is incumbency. And clearly he is the incumbent. The Labour candidate is not very well known. It's going to be very hard for him to get a campaign up and running. But that said, I mean, the Tories mustn't be complacent. There are a number of more Remainy seats than Uxbridge where I think that they will be vulnerable probably to a Lib Dem challenge. So yes, and of course he's going to lose seats in Scotland as well.
Having spent the day in Uxbridge, it feels that Boris Johnson can be fairly confident of holding this seat at the next election. But because of demographic changes, this constituency seems on a journey to becoming Labour. And the problem for the Prime Minister at that election is that there are other seats already further along that road. The campaign to unseat Boris Johnson is up and running in Uxbridge. But despite the historic prize, there are other seats with rapidly changing demographics that could be more vulnerable, at least this time around. Sophie Ridge, Sky News, Uxbridge.